One of the original Robotech masters, a brilliant scientist named Zor, discovered how to obtain limitless energy from the infinite flower of life. But the race to control it only brought endless interstellar war. Zor intended to save the Earth by destroying the remaining seeds of the flower of life, but his plan failed. The Infant became aware of the presence of protoculture on the planet and began their conquest of Earth.
Alright guys, one thing you notice here is this is definitely a Robotech production, is we're actually interleaving the storyline into the Southern Cross. Southern Cross has an important subplot leading into this. This is Cam Clark. He's actually the lead actor playing the role, reprising his role as Lancer, giving his backstory into the Robotech universe here. And so you guys are the first to have ever seen this. So this is what you got looking forward to. So there it is, Robotech Love Live. It'll be coming out very soon.
How soon?
This is like the situation we have in Shadow Chronicles. If you remember years back, everybody was going bonkers, telling us, when's the release date, when's the release date? The fact of the matter is we've got very good candidates for releasing this. Some of you might just say, okay, we know who the usual suspects are, who are they? But when we're ready to announce officially who the distributor is and what the release date they pick, we're not going to speculate openly. So we've got ranges of dates in mind. We've got companies interested in this, not just the US, Latin America as well. Because of the success of Robotech in the Spanish market, they're ready to release this when it's ready. And so if you come down to the Robotech Expand booth, this is booth 557 on the exhibit show floor. We'll have stuff to give away, and you can ask us more questions after we run out of time here. And also, if you're just addicted to Robotech and you want to keep up with social networking, follow our Twitter or Facebook pages online. And here's one more thing that's kind of interesting. This one came at the last minute. This actually came to me during Long Beach Comic Con. Is how many of you follow the Star Wars news? Okay, all of you heard about Star Wars, Disney, Princess Leia, Disney princess jokes. One way you can judge by the strength of the fandom is by the fan art, fan films, stuff like that being produced. And of course, with Star Trek and Star Wars, you see, really astonishingly polished fan films being put together. And so just at the last second at the show floor, memo from the Robotech fan booth said, hey, have you checked this stuff out? A fan down in Argentina produced this as a fan film. I said, you're sure this is not non-commercial? Nobody has to go after nobody? And they were like, yeah, this was just done by a fan for the love of Robotech, out in Argentina. And they just did it with their own resources. This kind of blew us away, so we're going to give you a little sneak peek as to what they did.
Varios testigos avistaron una luz llamativa en el cielo.
Según especialistas, se trataría de un meteorito que ingresó del espacio.
Fue una luz brillando dentro de un objeto volador no identificado.
¿Eres un programa?
Sé mucho más que eso.
¿Cuándo veamos qué puede hacer este bebé?
diciéndome, no hay nadie en el mundo que pueda controlarla. ¡Ya no puedo más! ¡Dios! ¿Qué es todo esto?
Now, I gotta hand it to our fans because I think our fan films are better than what do you say, guys?
That's awesome.
So thank you very much, everyone. Actually, we'll be open for questions. Steve actually here has some prizes for you. So anybody who asks a very good question.
Everyone who asks a question can come up and claim one of these prizes. So first
Right.
come, first serve. So
Steve,
in
you want
black, go ahead.
Yeah, I know that some of the other Macross stuff isn't really like adaptable because it's, you know, spread off. But is there any hope of like, you know, Macross Zero maybe? 'Cause I saw that recently and I was like, you know, tell Toy Story re-edited a little, you know.
Yeah.
Any hope of
You know,
licensing?
okay, fans ask us, well, can this be canon? Can that be canon? And even among Macross fans, there's disagreement of whether does the Macross Zero universe fit in with the original Macross universe, or you know, Macross 7 versus old Macross. You know what? This happens with any franchise as it gets older. Is we have different generations of fans, and the most notorious for this is Gundam. There are the original Universal Century fans who will shake their heads, you know, when they look at the Gundam Wing fans and they're like, oh, what the hell, you know.
Damn it.
Yeah, and you know, or Gundam Unicorn and so on. You know, okay, that looks great, but what happened to my original Universal Century? You know, that kind of stuff. But you know, likewise for Robotech, as it goes on, there's going to be different interpretations of Robotech. And you know, there's fans who always say, oh, well, I like this interpretation better than that interpretation. That's inevitable. You know, that's going to happen.
Are you asking about whether it could be licensed in the US?
Yeah, like.
Well, unfortunately, because there's like the two companies that produced it in Japan have disagreements over it right now. And that's why there hasn't been any new Macross being released outside of Japan for the last decade. Until those two companies come to an agreement, you know, we're not going to see any new Macross outside of Japan. So,
Right, and also,
come on.
I was going to say, in terms of stuff like Macross Plus, that's something that we've actually even sold in the Robotech.com store before, but that's just its own universe. That's how we treat it.
All right, in the green shirt.
Okay, since 1/100 size Vertex were sold pretty well, is there any chance we get an Alpha Fighter 1/100?
Alpha Fighter? I don't think that's something that Toy has planned. The VF-100s have been very popular, and they're mainly focusing on villains right now. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Want to pick the next one?
Yeah, in the green over here.
With the movie coming up, hopefully sometime in the next couple of years, that'd be awesome. Do you think that that's going to actually bring more of the, like my kids, I was trying to get my kids into it. Do you think it's going to bring the younger generation in so we can actually get the folks in Japan to actually get over whatever disagreements they're having and put out some new material?
You know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't answer that question. One thing that happens with Transformers is there's so many different interpretations of Jetfire because that original VF1 based Jetfire is not going to come back. Some things they can resolve, some things just don't work out, and the new version of Transformers is its own version. You know, likewise with Robotech. It's going to bring in new fans. New Robotech's going to be different. Not everything's going to be worked out. Who knows? We haven't crossed that bridge yet.
All right, come on up. Super Morrissey.
Video games. Are there ever going to be a, dare I say, decent Robotech video game? We haven't had a decent one since,
What was your last favorite one? What was your last favorite one?
My what?
What was your last favorite Robotech video game?
Game?
Yeah.
It was for the Super Nintendo. It was way back in the day.
Oh, but that one's never released.
That was
never
never released.
PlayStation, and that one was
All right.
kind of mid.
All right, just a quick straw poll. What was everyone's favorite Robotech game?
Battlecry.
Battlecry. Well, we'd love to see more Robotech games like that. The rights for that is actually tied with Warner Brothers. They've actually licensed a lot of the merchandising rights. Their hope is that with live action film that would drive a lot of merchandising. So
Okay.
yeah.
Why not? In the Superman shirt?
Yeah, do you guys plan on bringing the original series on Blu-ray anytime soon or in the future?
You know, the original series was produced on 16mm. I do know that there have been some Blu-ray releases released. The main reason we're waiting is for the cost to come down. Because we understand that some of the Blu-ray releases of old anime have been priced into the upper hundreds of dollars.
Oh, okay.
And one thing that A&E wants to do for our fans is try to keep the price very, very reasonable. We're waiting for some of the cost to come down.
Okay.
Keep the prices down.
Sounds good.
Alright, you?
Okay. Recently checking Robotech.com when they mentioned the cast list for Robotech Love Live Alive, I noticed one name in one particular character was not in there. I noticed Annie wasn't in the cast list.
Oh, some actors were used, some weren't, and it was simply on the basis of the script that we had. The main character has actually shifted. It is no longer, Scott is not the main character in Love Live Live. The main characters are actually, it's Lancer and to some extent Sarah. That's where the character focus is shift. So in that case, yes. Many of you, when it comes out, they're going to notice, hey, there's a surprise. We've added some characters which you didn't expect, and there's some actors, who didn't really, some characters simply didn't have a role in this one. That's just the way it is.
All right, over there. Yeah, you.
When I first heard about the film, I heard a couple names thrown around, like Antonio Barrett's for Captain Global. And I want to know if you guys are, what is the partnership relationship? Is it back and forth between Warner and Harmony Gold, or is it one-sided?
Can you elaborate, please?
In terms of developing the live-action film, Harmony Gold does still have input to Warner Brothers?
Yeah, well, Frank Rama is the gentleman, the chairman of Harmony Gold. He's the one who made this deal with Warner Brothers to bring Robotech to live action. Basically, he is the liaison connection to Warner Brothers Pictures. I would say it would be like any other, like author or creator relationship with the studio, in that the studio is going to bring in the people with the most experience in the film industry working on this, even more so than we do. We really appreciate that. All right, we're actually we're actually out of stuff. Sorry, we actually had to kind of compress this and rush this
yesterday.
because. All right, then we'll go.
One more question in the very back.
Yeah, one more.
I had a question just about the toys in general, and was wondering because there really never were any good Southern Cross toys made, upper tanks or anything like that. So, if there are any plans.
Toy Nami does not have plans in the near future. They've been focusing mainly on Macross and Laspida based toys from Macross Saga New Generation. I believe that Palladium is interested in doing miniatures for RPG related stuff. So I would think it's more likely you're going to see Southern Cross stuff from Palladium. Thank you. All right. How are we on time?
We have to go.
Okay. At the exhibit show floor, 557, we're going to do a giveaway at 4:30. So if you're there for the raffle, you can enter. Thank you very much.